30 ways to make money on Amazon. We scored every one of them on the same scorecard, and this is what came out. 4 of the 30 don't pay you money at all. 1 of them gets your account closed. And the single best return on the money you put in isn't selling anything. And you already know the problem because you've watched the other videos. Every one of them is about one program, presented by someone who makes their living from that program. FBA is the answer. No, wait, it's print on demand. No, it's affiliate. Nobody ever puts them side by side, so you can't tell whether the thing you're being sold is the best option or just the one that pays the person selling it. So here's what this video is. All 30 on one scorecard. What it costs to start, what a part-time first year realistically pays, how long until the first dollar, and what the catch is. Ranked. No affiliate links, nothing to buy, and I'll tell you which ones I think are a waste of your time. Including 2 that look like income and aren't. One example of how deep this goes. Amazon Renewed. Refurbished electronics. Looks like a great margin business. But Amazon's owner page says you need $50,000 of refurbished stock, invoiced, in the previous 90 days before you're even allowed to apply. $2.5 million if you want to sell refurbished Apple. That's not in any of the beginner videos, because it ends the video. I'm Jennifer, and this is Amazon Revenue Streams. Here's the run of it. How the scoring works, the 4 that aren't revenue streams, the 1 that's a suspension risk, 9 things Amazon changed this year. What actually scored well, the selling ladder from cheapest to riskiest, and a live cash model you can copy. Let's go. Every model gets the same treatment. What it costs to start, low and high. What a part-time first-year operator could realistically bill each month. The net margin after Amazon takes its cut. How many months until your startup capital comes back? How long until launch, until the first dollar, and until income that actually matters? And how many hours a week it eats? No model gets graded on its best day. On top of that, 4 ratings from 1 to 5. How easy it is to start. How little capital it needs. How well it scales. Whether revenue can grow without your hours growing with it. And how passive it is. Does the asset keep earning after the work is done? Those 4 are weighted 25, 20, 30, and 25% into a single opportunity score. Salability carries the most weight, which is a judgment call, and it's worth knowing that up front. Across all 30, 10 came out strong or good. 11 were moderate, workable, but gated by capital, skill, approval, or an audience you have to build first. And 9 were weak. 11 can be started for under $500. 4 need $5,000 or more. The median startup capital across the whole list is $675. So the money barrier is lower than most people assume. The barriers are somewhere else entirely. Let's start with the 4 that don't belong on the list. Not because they're bad businesses, but because they don't pay you money. 2 of them pay you in something that isn't cash. 1 pays below minimum wage, and 1 is the $50,000 door I just mentioned. Amazon Vine first. People find it in lists of ways to make money, and it works in neither direction. If you're a seller, Vine is something you pay for. Nothing for up to 2 units, $75 for 3 to 10, and $200 for 11 to 30 per parent product. That's a marketing cost, and the reviews you buy can be negative. And if you're a Vine voice on the other side, Amazon is explicit. You receive products for free, and you're responsible for income tax on them. Free product, taxed, never cash. Amazon trade-in is the same shape. You send in a Kindle, an Echo, a phone, a console, and Amazon pays you in a digital Amazon gift card. Not cash. Usually there's a promotional discount alongside it, up to 20% off a new Amazon device, limited to 1 per device category per quarter. It's a fine way to fund your first inventory buy. It is not income. and it runs out the moment you're out of things to trade. Mechanical Turk. This one deserves a real number rather than an opinion. A peer-reviewed study published in 2021 measured what workers actually earned and found a median of $3.76 an hour. And that only counts time spent on paid tasks. Once you add the unpaid work, hunting for tasks, previewing them, returning them, chasing payment, it drops to $2.83. Workers spend about a third of their day on activity nobody paid them for. And there's an update that settles it. Amazon announced this week that Mechanical Turk shuts down permanently on the 30th of September, 2026. And back to Renewed with the rest of the door. $50,000 of qualifying refurbished purchases invoiced in the previous 90 days. For home, tools, kitchen, and lawn and garden, you get 180 days instead. $2.5 million for Apple. And on top of the invoices, brand documentation, proven refurbishment capability, and sample photos proving excellent cosmetic grade. That's a program for a company that already exists. Now the one I'd want a friend to hear before they spend money on a course. Dropshipping on Amazon. Not dropshipping in general. Dropshipping the way it is usually taught. The model in most of those courses is a customer buys from your Amazon listing and you place an order at Walmart or another retailer to ship directly to them. Amazon's policy forbids that. Amazon's dropshipping policy requires that you're the seller of record on every packing slip, invoice, and piece of packaging, and that nothing identifying another retailer reaches the customer. Ordering from Walmart's website to your customer's address breaks it in the most visible way possible. The box arrives with somebody else's name on it. Account suspension is the headline risk here, not thin margins. And the economics underneath don't rescue it. 3 to 5% net margin, which one return wipes out. Stockouts you can't see because you don't hold the inventory. Delivery times set by a retailer who doesn't know they're in your supply chain. Damaging the account health metrics Amazon judges you on. It's scored weak on every dimension that matters. Here's the part that matters most, and the reason any spreadsheet like this has a shelf life. Every figure was rechecked against Amazon's own pages this week. 9 things had moved since the analysis was first built. Some in your favor, some very much not. Kindle Direct Publishing, and this is genuinely good news. The 70% royalty tier has always been capped at a $9.99 list price. Price above it, and you drop to 35%. On the 7th of July, 2026, Amazon raised that ceiling to $12.99 in the US. It is the first time it has ever moved. If you publish longer nonfiction that was being squeezed under a $10 cap, your royalty per sale just went up by roughly 30%. Audiobooks moved too. ACX rolled out a new royalty model to all creators on the 26th of May, 2026. Rights holders now earn 50% on exclusive distribution, up from 40%, and 30% non-exclusive, up from 25%. Royalty share producers go from 20 to 25%. They were. And the part to act on. The old rates retire at the end of 2026. If you have a title on ACX, you have to enroll in the new model or stop distributing. Amazon Associates went the other way. The published rate card still runs from 1% on grocery and health up to 10% on luxury beauty, with most categories sitting at 3 or 4. But in May 2026, Trade Press reported Amazon quietly cutting affiliate commissions for publishers by as much as half, ending the bonus programs, with no public announcement at all. I could not verify that against an Amazon source, so I'm telling you it's reported, not confirmed. Treat the published card as the ceiling, not the expectation. One that had a question mark against it. Now check. Once you apply to Associates, you have 180 days to refer 3 qualifying sales. Miss it and your application is withdrawn. You don't get a warning, and you have to start again. It's on Amazon's own help pages today. Separately, an approved account that earns nothing for 3 years gets closed for dormancy. And the cookie is still 24 hours, extending to 90 days if the item sits in the cart. 2 corrections in opposite directions. The Amazon App Store for Android phones shut down on the 20th of August, 2025. New submissions had stopped 6 months before that, and Amazon Coins ended the same day. It still runs on Fire TV and Fire tablets, where the small business split is a genuinely generous 80/20 plus 80 US credits. But the audience you're publishing to is a fraction of what it was. And Prime Video Direct, which this analysis called effectively closed, is actually still open, with a rate card that took effect on the 1st of January this year. Though open doesn't mean welcoming. The old flat 6 cents an hour rate is gone. Us Streaming Now pays between 1 cent and 12 cents per hour, set by how your title ranks against other Prime titles. And only feature-length films and TV shows are accepted. No documentaries, no short form, no vlogs, no tutorials. 3 quick ones to finish. Amazon Inspire, the TikTok-style feed, was shut down in February 25. Amazon Live is still running. And Creator Connections, where brands sponsor creators, pays a bonus commission on top of your normal associate's rate rather than instead of it. Quick one before the rankings. Of the 30, which one were you actually considering before you clicked on this? Put it in the comments. If enough people name the same one, that's the next full breakdown. And if this is useful so far, a like genuinely helps this reach someone else who's about to buy a course. Right, the top of the table. And I want to be careful here because the highest scoring models are not the ones that make the most money. They're the ones that combine low capital, real scalability, and income that keeps arriving after the work is finished. Those are different things, and confusing them is how people end up disappointed. Joint first at 4.45 out of 5. Amazon Associates and Kindle Direct Publishing. Both cost almost nothing to start. Both scale without your hours scaling, and both keep paying after you stop working. Joint third at 4.2, the Influencer Program and Merch on Demand. And 5th, Amazon Business B2B, which is really an add-on. If you already sell, you switch it on. There's no extra fee, and Amazon actually charges lower referral fees on larger business orders. It lifts an existing account. It doesn't create one. Every one of them has a catch the score doesn't show. Associates is a traffic business, not an Amazon business. A 24-hour cookie and 3% rates mean you need real volume, and one search algorithm shift can erase you overnight. KDP rewards a catalog, not a book. One title almost never earns anything. Merch is application gated, 2 to 8 weeks, and starts you at a 10 design tier you have to sell your way out of. Influencer approval can be revoked without explanation, and on-site commissions run 0.5% to 4% by category. And now the thing the ranking hides, which is the most useful sentence in this video. Amazon Ad Management came 14th of 30. But look at what it does per dollar of capital. Near zero startup cost. Retainers of $500 to $2,500 a month per client. And demand that grows every single time somebody new starts selling on Amazon. It ranks low for one reason only. It isn't passive. You're selling hours. But think about what that actually means. Every other high-income option on this list is gated by money you don't have. This one is gated by something you can go and acquire. You can learn Amazon PPC in a few months, on your own listings or friends, for the cost of your time. It is skill-gated, not capital-gated. That is a completely different kind of barrier, and it's the one most people should be attacking. Now, if you do want to sell physical products, and most people watching this do, there's a ladder, and the rungs are in a specific order for a reason. Here it is from cheapest to riskiest, with what each one actually costs, and what it actually returns. Bottom rung, and the one I genuinely start on, reselling used product. $450 typical capital, 35% margins, by far the best margin on the physical side, and capital back in about 6 weeks. Books, media, and used gear can be sourced for a few dollars and listed the same day. The catch: condition disputes. Some categories are gated for used. Textbook prices collapse the week after each semester, and it does not scale. You are the whole business. Next, arbitrage. Retail arbitrage is scanning clearance aisles, about $1,100 to start, 20% margins, and it ranked 17th. Online arbitrage is the same thing from a desk, around $1,750, 18% margins, and it ranks higher, at 13th, for one reason: sourcing from a desk can be handed to a virtual assistant, and walking a store can't. Both teach you fee maths and buy box mechanics faster than anything else. Both hit the same wall: brand gating and price tanking after you've already bought. Then how you fulfill. FBA, Amazon stores, picks, ships, and handles returns. About $3,250 typical, 12% net margin, and roughly 12 months to get your capital back. FBM, where you ship it yourself, is $900 and 15%, so cash stays free, but your weekends don't. And there's no Prime badge unless you qualify for Seller Fulfilled Prime. FBA scored 8th overall. FBM 14. Neither is a business model on its own. They're just how the parcel moves. The two expensive rungs. Wholesale, buying real brands at trade prices, needs about $9,000, returns 12%, and takes nearly 17 months to pay back. It's repeatable and it teaches supplier relationships, but most brands will say no, and many already sell direct. Private label, your own brand, is $12,500 typical, 21 months to pay back, and it has the highest ceiling on this entire list and the highest failure rate. 6 months before you even know if it worked. Only sensible with money you can genuinely afford to lose. And two on the side: reselling Amazon returns. Liquidation pallets, finished dead last, 30th of 30. And here's what. Pallets run $100 to $5,000 plus freight. Manifests are optimistic, and you should expect 20 to 40% unsellable. One real example: an 84-item toy pallet with $2,168 of stated retail value sold for $240. Sometimes that's a bargain. Sometimes it's a garage full of broken toys. And handmade, genuinely good if you already make something by hand, 15% referral fee. And Amazon waives the $39.99 monthly fee once you're approved. So, the practical read: under $500 and you need cash this month, Amazon Flex. Then, reselling used products. $500 to $2,000. You want to learn selling. Arbitrage into FBA. $3,000 to $15,000, and you want a real business. Wholesale first, then selective private label. Almost no capital, but plenty of time. PDP, merch, and influencer videos run together. Already have a marketable skill, add management. And if you already sell on Amazon, switch on B2B and Amazon Live. They cost nothing, and they amplify what's already there. With the catches, because they matter more than the recommendation. Flex advertises $18 to $25 an hour, but fuel, insurance, and vehicle wear come out of that. And it's a job, not an asset. Run it to fund inventory, not as the destination. Arbitrage never becomes passive. Most brands say no to wholesale first, and the passive lane earns close to nothing for 6 months. One book or 10 designs is not a business. The workbook has a live model in it, and this is where the whole thing stops being theory. 9 inputs. Starting capital, units sold in month 1, monthly growth rate, average selling price, landed product cost, the Amazon referral fee, the FBA fulfillment fee, advertising as a percentage of revenue, and your fixed monthly costs. The defaults model a modest arbitrage or wholesale start, $2,000 of capital, 40 units in month 1, growing 15% a month at a $24.99 selling price against an $8.50 landed cost. The referral fee sits at 15%, which is the most common category rate, but it ranges from 5 to 45%, so check yours. Change any one of those, and every month recalculates. And here's what those defaults produce. $29,060 of revenue across year one. $6,069 of net profit. A cash position of just over $8,000 by month 12 against the $2,000 you started with. Break even is 13 units a month, and you're profitable in month 1. Now read the assumptions underneath because they're doing a lot of work. Inventory bought and sold in the same month with no restocking lag, no returns reserve, no storage fees, and no tax of any kind. Add 3 to 8% for returns, budget 30 to 60 days of stock ahead, and this picture gets noticeably tighter. If you want one concrete plan, week 1, open a seller account on the individual plan. 99 cents a sale, and only upgrade to the $39.99 professional plan once you pass about 40 sales a month. Complete identity, bank, and tax verification. Week 2, source $200 to $400 of test inventory and buy only what clears 3 times cost after fees. Week 3, list and ship anything over about $15 into FBI. Week 4, reinvest every dollar and start one passive asset in parallel so something is compounding while you learn the mechanics. One last thing, and it's the most important sentence in the whole analysis. Most people who start an Amazon business earn nothing. Every figure here is a planning range for a part-time, first-year operator, not a forecast, and not a guarantee. Amazon changes fees, royalties, and eligibility constantly. 9 things moved in the few months between this being written and being rechecked. Recheck anything material before you commit money. This is information, not financial advice, and none of it is tax advice. If you take one thing away, take this. Pick the lane that matches your capital and your time, not the one with the best thumbnail. Open the account, buy $200 of test inventory, and track your true landed cost per unit. That's the habit that decides whether any of it works. I'm Jennifer, and if you want the other side of this, how AI agents actually do work a script can't, that video is on screen now.